Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. How are you? So, today I want to talk about perfection being the enemy of progress. So, this topic came up for me today because I got a call from a friend, two friends actually, on a similar topic. So, they were talking about having personal and professional goals that they're working on, personal projects that they're working on, and professional projects that they're working on. And it's interesting that both friends today, within probably half an hour of each other, said that they were feeling nervous, that they didn't feel brave enough to launch the creative project they were doing. And one of them asked me about, how I cope with it. And I found it really strange because I was like, wow, isn't this interesting that two people's calling me this morning about a very similar topics about feeling worried about launching a professional project or a personal project, worried about how it's going to go over or if it would be well received. And then I realized, the universe works in strange ways because, I've worked on many projects in corporate, and those of you who are project managers or program managers, test managers, all of that, you'll know what I mean when I say sometimes you simply have to get things done. We've all negotiated, which elements of software implementation, for example, were must-haves or were nice-to-haves. And some of us have even had to negotiate on around the must-haves, and having to talk to sponsors and business people because everything is not ready all at the same time. But we have to deliver to a certain timeline. And so we've got to then negotiate and compromise on what will get delivered sort of in this package, and then what we're going to add on as we go through the rest of the implementation and things like that. So those of you who've done that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But here's the other discuss, and that's about why we expend so much energy on getting things perfect. So I think underneath it all, we're afraid of stuffing up, making missteps, and being criticized. I know that has been often the things that hold me back. Because let's face it, there are more people out there who will criticize, who will pull something to shreds, who will pretend to be giving constructive feedback, but underneath, they're really knocking your attempts at doing something. We all know that. You can usually tell by the vibe. The minute someone says, I'm giving you constructive feedback, it's often not constructive. It's often pure criticism. And you can tell by the energy. I mean, we know how things make us feel. And when someone says something to you and it's genuine and they're genuinely trying to help you. So they'll go, oh, maybe you could look at that or do something a bit better. Or, this is a way I found that works better. It usually comes with a very gentle solution. That's when someone's trying to help you. But when they're tearing apart everything that you do, criticizing every little step, I think that time we kind of get that really strange vibe, isn't it? That icky vibe, that kind of almost like there's a nasty vibe there. And so I think that holds a lot of people back. We're afraid of that criticism. And also as a creator, for me, for example, as a writer, I've been terrified in my time of sharing my poetry with people, sharing my writing work with people. Because, when you create something, you pretty much bare your soul, don't you? You bare your soul, you bare your heart. You share what really matters to you, something that a project that you've been working on for ages. And the last thing you want is for someone to rip it to shreds. And so I think we can get caught up in perfection syndrome because we're afraid of the criticism. We're afraid of making missteps. We want to get it right. And I know certainly I've been one of those who really can let that perfection syndrome hold me back. I want it to be right. I want it to be done right the first time. And so I can hesitate. I can tend to hesitate. But here's the thing that I've learned. The good people in my life, the people that really have had my back, they've helped me to see or to understand that it's important to focus on the process and on learning from the missteps, on learning from the mistakes, because nothing that goes out perfectly the first time. Nothing. We have to refine. We put something out there, whatever the creative piece is, and whether it's creative pieces in technology, in the arts, in business, it doesn't matter. Whatever creative pieces we put out there, content, when we're blogging, when we're writing, even on the video, when we're speaking, there's so many ums and ahs. I mean, how many times don't I do the ums and ahs when I do these live videos? But you simply have to get out there. If you want to get a project done, you want to make an impact, you want to help people, sometimes you got to step into those vulnerable spaces, those spaces that have you feel quite terrified. And in the end, one of my mentors said to me, it's not about getting something perfect. It's about getting a working vision out there and refining it along the way. Because every time you get out there, the next time you launch, or the next time you deliver something, a project, or the next time you share a creative piece, it's better and better because you're learning from the process. If you go out there thinking that you have to get it right and it has to be perfect before you get it out there, you'll actually never get it out there, because there's no such a thing as perfection. Everything in life can always be improved upon. And so, sometimes we simply have to step into the arena, and we have to, you have to deliver what we say you're going to deliver. So today, I launched the Happy Career Hub, and I have to say I was shaky and nervous the whole way before. We sent the email out to early adopters to tell them that the hub was open before we started getting all the promotion together. There has been some crazy nerves going on, to the point where I decided, you know what? I need to take a break from this. I need to steady the nerves and get out in nature, just have a walk with the dog, go for a walk with my daughter around the track, and just let it go. At some point you have to let go and simply release it. And whatever comes, criticism, mistakes, the product not being 100%, everything not being perfect, it's about growing. It's about getting out into the arena. It's about being the gladiator and getting out into the arena and getting that dust on your face, and, might even get a few bloody strokes on the face, whatever. But we get out into the arena and we have a crack at doing something, creating what is important to us to create. Now, I'm still nervous, to be honest. I'm nervous because I have no idea how it's going to go. What I know is that the aim of the program, the aim of the membership, is to help people, to help as many people as I can with what has worked for me and with what has worked for my clients. And because there's one of me where I've refined a system, but you're limited by time, and you're limited by the hours in the day. That's why I decided to launch the Happy Career Hub, because the way it's designed, it is designed to help more people. And that's been the goal, is to be able to share and help more people, especially in the challenging times, especially because the job market is tight, especially because there's a global financial crisis going on, as a result of, pandemic and all these other things happening in the world. Things are so up and down, and we all need a helping hand. We all need support. And sometimes you got to figure out ways and refine ways to be able to help more people. And that's what I've been doing around the Happy Career Hub. Lots of hours, my goodness, lots of hours, blood, sweat, and tears gone into creating this. And it's not perfect. It's, I'm a perfectionist. So I will, be the first one to admit that it's not perfect, but the first part is done, and it has opened up. The doors are open up. And as nervous as I am really grateful for the support that I have gotten from a handful of great people, and for having the guts to actually just do it, to get out of my own way. Because believe me, I am often the biggest obstacle. I can be the biggest obstacle for actually moving my creativity forward and moving my intentions and my goals and my projects forward. But the thing is, I realize that if I let my fears get in the way, then I don't get to help the people that I want to help. I actually get to continue to hide away and only do it on the scale that it's being done, where it makes an impact, but it doesn't have the reach that I would like it to have. And so, my point in having this little chat today is to say that perfection can be the enemy of progress, and that the only way we make progress is to actually have the courage to put out our projects, our creativity, our vision goals, to step into the arena, to accept and understand that you're going to cop it. You're going to cop some dirt on your face. You might even cop some blood on your face, whatever, but still have the courage to go out there and do it. I am proud of what we've created. I hope that the intention to serve and to contribute is received the way I hope it will be received. But if it isn't, I also accept and understand that it's not for everybody. All of us who are creators, who are people trying to bring something forward or contribute or to provide service, we all know that even big corporations, even if you look at Microsoft or Apple, those big ones, their products are not for everybody. You have the die-hard Apple fans and you have the die-hard Microsoft and PC fans, and nothing someone else says is going to persuade those either side to go across to the other. So I think it's important to accept that what we hope to contribute, give, share is not for everyone, and that we will cop some, dirt on the face. We may cop some criticism. All of those things comes with getting a new creation out there. But forget about getting things perfect. That applies to everything in our careers, in our work, whatever we're doing, whether you're working in corporate, you're working in retail, or you're working for your own business. It's never going to be perfect, but have the courage, be brave, put it out there anyway, because there are going to be people who are looking for exactly what you have to offer, to contribute, to provide as a service. So be courageous and just do it. Be like Nike and just do it. And now I'm going to sign off and wish you a happy day. And I'm going to, sit in the corner and rock and be nervous about my own creation, but at the same time feel really proud that it's done and that it's open. The membership is open. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see who it helps, who tunes into it, who vibes with it, who finds it useful. But in the meantime, for you working on your own projects, personal projects, professional projects, I just want to say, go out there and do it and trust yourself. Don't wait until it's perfect. Just share what you have to offer with others and have a super awesome day. Bye.